Narcissistic smear campaigns are when someone with narcissistic personality disorder, I'm going to call it NPD, they try to ruin your reputation with false allegations. They may try to make you look like a bad or a terrible person to their family and to your family, friends and colleagues and people in your community. They will spread these lies to anybody that will listen. They'll go up to strangers and start talking about you. That's what the one I dealt with did. So they may also attempt to make you lose your job by spreading lies and also damage other relationships that you have. I know that mine wanted to make sure that I was seen pretty terribly in the community, especially by men, so that he could try to ruin potential future partners I might have and also ruin future possible jobs. So NPD, it is a mental disorder that is characterized by an inflated sense of self-importance and the need for admiration, a lack of empathy for others because they do not care about other people. So it doesn't matter what they say. People with NPD, they often have a history of very manipulative and abusive behaviors. If you have been or you are a target of the narcissistic smear campaign, it is very important to know how to respond. And if you find yourself the target of a narcissistic campaign, let me tell you, it can be very difficult. It can be trying. And I know this personally. I'm currently still dealing with a narcissistic smear campaign. These campaigns, they're designed to damage your reputation and to make you look bad in the eyes of others. While it's easy to feel very helpless and alone, there are some things that you can do to protect yourself and your reputation. And that's what I want to share with you because I don't want anyone else to have to feel blindsided like I did. So you want to find out who is spreading these lies, who are the people doing it. Narcissists are often very skilled at hiding their tracks. Sometimes they will just throw all this out there and then they hide that they're actually the people who are doing it. But it's important to identify the source. So maybe you can then address it head on or decide what action you're going to take to protect yourself, if any. So some things that you could consider doing is speaking to a lawyer, issuing a public statement. I wouldn't necessarily contact the person who's making the false allegations because they did that for a reason and they probably aren't going to stop or take it down. So, this is a sad, sad reality of our world today. To find yourself on the receiving end of one of these campaigns, it can be difficult, really difficult. But one of the things that you need to do is to keep calm and carry on. That is what I did. I stayed to myself, stayed quiet, but I knew what was going on and I knew who was doing it. So, they're started by people who feel very threatened, who have very, very low self-esteem. They're threatened by you. They can be jealous of you and your success and have a lot of envy. And they simply, hey, mine said he wanted to take me down a notch. That's what happened to me. I was in a relationship with this person. And he did try to control and manipulate me. If he didn't like what I was saying when I wanted to bring certain issues up, he would try to control and manipulate me. If he thought I was getting out of place or acting too smart, he felt he needed to knock me off my pedestal. So, we broke up so that he could go marry I don't know. I think she was a dancer or an escort perhaps. So when he did that, I decided if we're breaking up, let me block you from social media, from phone, from email, because that's what I do when I break up with people. Well, evidently that's not what he does because he felt rejected and he decided he was going to get revenge on me since I wasn't answering. And he did this by word of mouth, cyberbullying. He posted Photoshop pictures of me on little nasty websites, ones that he frequented, and did a little black magic on me and little wonderful, nice stalking and gang stalking and social media cyber stalking. He told people I was a whore, a drug dealer, a bad mother, an addict, and that I was crazy and that he didn't see me going anywhere in life, which I find quite hilarious. But anyway, he did all this to upset me. He thought he was going to make me feel so depressed, so suicidal over that. And so he also illegally hacked my phone, my computer. He placed webcams all throughout my house to keep tabs on me. He even put a tracker on my car. So whatever the reason these people are doing that, they're acting out of insecurity, not out of truth. It's their own issues, okay? They have to make you look bad so they don't look bad. It doesn't make a lot of sense, but that's what they do. So the narcissist that I was dealing with and his wife, they did try to steal my identity on social media, also by bank. They stole some money from me. They tried to make money off my images. So if you find yourself in one of these positions with this narcissistic smear campaign, do know that the narcissists, they're going to take on the role as a victim, as they always do. So it's one of their favorite tactics. And if you find yourself as a target, you know, it can be very confusing and overwhelming. So there are some steps that you can take to protect yourself and your reputation. And it's important to protect your reputation because they're out there telling some real crazy lies. So let's look at some ways to deal with some of these false allegations and to protect your reputation. You need to be aware of the signs. You know, usually after breakup, they're going to do that because they're going to do it to save face. Gather the evidence. Where are they posting these things? Who are they saying it to? But one thing you want to do is not engage because they want you to engage. Set boundaries, okay? Because they don't like boundaries. Seek professional help if you must, if you don't have anyone to talk to about it, because, you know, who wants to have someone spreading lies like that about them? So if you are facing false allegations from one of these narcissists, it's serious. It's a serious issue, but it is important for you to stay within your character, to remain calm and collected, because again, they are looking for you to get out of character. These individuals, when they participate in these smear campaigns, it is to discredit you, and it is to silence their victims. They're hoping that you'll just sit back and either not know that they're doing it or won't say anything, and that's okay not to say anything. But when it gets too much, you may need to step in there and say some things. But some of the things you want to remember is that these things that they're putting up are false, and they should not be taken as at face value. Just don't engage. It's essential. Because there's going to be a constant stream of lies from someone who you actually cared about and you thought they may have cared about you. So you may feel humiliated, exhausted, and even furious. And as much as you are tempted to contact them and beg them to stop, fight back, argue with them, just don't engage, because that just gives them the fuel that they're looking for, that narcissistic supply. So again, they're looking for a reaction and will inevitably use anything and everything that you say, what you write, what you post against you, because they'll turn it around against you to prove whatever they have claimed about you. So stay silent. They hate that. If you feel you must react, write it down. Have a trusted friend you can talk to, or just speak it out loud to yourself, you know, if you just got to get some frustration out. But pick your battles. Do not attempt to rebuke every allegation and lie, and decide what is worth your time and your focus, and then just let it go. If they're claiming that you cheated on them, it's impossible to disprove, so leave it alone. If they do call your employer and make false allegations, this is likely it's worth your time and your effort because it could affect your livelihood. So even while you're defending yourself, keep the focus on disputing the lies and not the person doing the damage. You can go in and say, hey, we recently ended this relationship. The other person is quite angry. I assure you these complaints are false, and thank you for taking the time to listen to me. So you want to not refer, give them all your business, not refer to the person as a narcissist when you are communicating with third parties, such as employers or law enforcement. And so it doesn't look poorly on you because, again, they're trying to make you look bad. So just stick with the behaviors and the information that you need to share. So the best course of action is just to avoid these labels and let their actions speak for themselves. And eventually, you and other people will see the patterns, because they're not just doing this to you. They probably did it to the relationship before you, the relationship before them, the relationship before them, because they move in a cyclical cycle of abuse. So you know the truth. You absolutely know the truth. And it is important for you to stay strong and don't doubt yourself. Because people with narcissistic traits, they like to play the victim. So you need to be prepared to hear through other people all about all the ways you have harmed them. And even if you know that these are exaggerated, embellished, or flat out lies, they are going to make themselves the victim. So projections, they will undoubtedly tell everyone that you're doing exactly what they did to you. They never feared to do that. They said I was a drug addict. He was a drug addict. His wife's a drug addict. Said I was a prostitute. They got all that kind of stuff going on. I'll leave it at that. They said a whole lot of crazy things about me that were true about them. They say, if they say you're stalking them, they probably just stalked you. So, this is a dangerous tendency of abusive people. And it's really crazy that, they would talk about their ex-partner in that way, and make themselves look like a victim. But actually, when they do this, it makes them look a little crazy that they're, spewing all this information about you. So you want to just conduct yourself as professionally as you can. Don't jump into this drama. You don't need to if you don't have to. The challenge is not to react or to fight back, but it is essential for you to stay calm and firm with no emotional reaction. Because guess what? They want you to get out of character. They want you to, especially if they've said that you're crazy or you have some, issue, because they'll use that to prove their point. So you might want to cut out mutual friends, because they'll choose sides, and they sometimes become the flying monkeys. They're going to become the informants. Oh, so and so said this, or so and so said that. This is what they said you're doing to them. So hey, you don't need to wait for them to choose sides. You make the choice for them. It's not a normal ending to a relationship. Most relationships do not end in this way. It's quite dramatic. So keeping mutual friends can be very dangerous. And you don't want to have to, convince people that this person's being abusive. So simply wish them well and the best and just move on. And eventually, hopefully, they'll see what's going on. And if not, maybe they weren't your true friend anyway. But people do tend to be a whole lot smarter than we think. And in my case, I know some people did some research about me, and they found out that the things that these people were saying about me didn't go with my character, didn't go with my image and reputation in this community. So then when they looked me up, these people look like pure fools. So, if this does get bad and you want to find an attorney, you can, and you can sue them for defamation of character, especially if it's costing you money now or future money. And if you suspect that you are in a relationship with a narcissist, it is important to get help. It's also important to get up out of this relationship when you first see the red flags, so you don't waste time and have to deal with this kind of attack on your reputation, as I have and am currently dealing with. So these relationships are toxic. They have a profound effect on your mental and emotional well-being. I would say, please get some help, talk to somebody about it. But for more information on narcissistic personality disorder, please watch the next video in our series.